So I'm Olajumoke Olariwaju, the Director of Operations, and I'm joining from Canada. And of course, I'm looking forward to even everything we will do today, the conversations and the connections, and even the words that will go with us and that will run with even at the end of today's session. And I'll be doing a short introduction, even of our organization. Like I said, Impact Leaders Connect. And just like the name says, when you hear impact leaders, what comes to my mind first is, okay, leaders making impact, right? And we can always also put it in the chat what we think, about just that name and what comes to your mind when you hear about like an organization, like the name, like impact leaders. And so we are just impact leaders connected, right? I can just say that in that sense, but however, we are more than that. So Impact Leaders Connect, our focus is on raising global leaders who go out there even and make impact in different sectors that God has placed them in. And we have different objectives, and one of them is to empower young leaders to identify their inherent abilities and pursue their God-given purpose. And that's one of the things, because without identifying that ability and even knowing what God has said, God's purpose concerning one's life, one cannot run. And so it's just going to be, we're just running with one speed or with a speed, but then without any direction. And also, we are very passionate about helping young leaders to discover their mountain of influence. Everybody has that mountain of influence. And so we are passionate about helping young leaders discover theirs and connect them with relevant networks, information, and resources that will help establish them, because knowledge is power. With knowledge, you can achieve so much more. And of course, we are very passionate about creating a community. And so it's not just about connecting alone, but also creating that community where everybody has, someone to always rely on, to always run to, where young leaders can develop themselves and impact the world positively. That community of people that you can actually go out there together and make wonderful impact. No one is an island. Everybody needs people. And there's that word that says, that teamwork. It says together, everybody achieves much. And so when we are together, there are so much more we can actually achieve. And I just want to be very short. I don't want to, go on and on because of our time. And so this year, we're introducing a new series. And last year, we actually, our focus, the word for last year was shift. And then this year, 2025, the word for this year is build. And so we can put in the chat box what first comes to mind when we hear build. Of course, when I hear build, I'm like, okay, build. And what first comes to my mind is like, oh, are we building like a structure, a house? That's what comes to my mind first when I hear build. Oh, okay, a building, right? I mean, that's even like construction. Yeah. So Israel said construction, like build, construct. Exactly. So when you're building, like, is it to construct? Are we trying to erect a building? Are we trying to, do things from the scratch, or are we building an organization? We can put in the chat also what we think about the word build and how it resonates with you. And so build series that we're starting, develop. Elizabeth said develop, exactly. When you're building something, developing structures, exactly. So those are the things that kind of come to mind, like when we hear build. However, build is more than, erecting structure or construction. We are trying to build it from the scratch. We know that when we build, it's from the scratch. And when we say build, even in our lives, what does that mean? Like, let's try to connect it to our lives. Now, what do we think when maybe I just come to you and oh, this is the year for you to build. And so what do you think? What comes to your mind when I come just approach you like that and tell you, oh, Let me just call someone, oh, Esther, this is the year for you to build. So what do you think when I say that? Anybody can just put it in the chat. You know, when I just come to you and say, oh, this is the year for you to build. And I'm talking about you, like your own self. Like, so what comes to mind? They can put it in the chat. And so for me, when someone tells me this is my year to build, yeah, to grow, to level up, exactly, yes, to grow, to level up, to create, yes, to create, developing a skill, yes, yes, those are all very vital. To upgrade, exactly, to upgrade, yes. And so those, you've actually answered it all. So it's to add value, exactly. These are all the answers, you know. So basically to create, to grow, to level up, developing oneself, you know, a skill, to upgrade oneself, to add value to yourself. And then that way you can even add value to others. And so just like the name build, and so that is rebuilding our self, our entity, what makes us up. Like we're building the whole of ourselves. And so it's not just about building just a part of us, but we are building like that, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, you know, intellectual parts, like everything that sums us up. So that's what this build series is about. And it's not just a series, it's actually a journey. It's a movement, a journey of growth, empowerment, and transformation. And so this build series is about working on our core, our inner core, because the only way we can make impact is by being transformed from inside out. We have to, transformation has to take place first within before we can even see it with outside. And we can't say we want to work on ourselves. And if, for example, maybe I want to work on myself and basically I'm just buying like amazing products, all these facials, body creams, all those things. But then what I'm eating is not healthy. Obviously, even though those creams are working on my outside and maybe my face is actually very fresh, but then what is my inside saying? What are the voices? What are they crying out that, oh, I'm not taking care of myself. Oh, this, like my body will be telling me different things that I need to work on, even though my outside might be actually looking so nice. But then my inside is not. But then if my inside is very healthy, it's going to like show outside. But when it's just outside, it can't go inside. So it has to be from inside to like out. And this series is not just about learning, it's about, you know, equipping ourselves with tools, mindset, and confidence to build something great. Our self-worth, our leadership, and our impact in the world. And today we are beginning with building your self-worth, because how we see ourselves actually shapes everything. Anybody that is going to make impact, it actually comes from how do we see ourselves? Do I see myself as someone that can make that impact? Do I see myself as someone that can take up mountains, take up things, conquer territories, conquer nations? Do I see myself as that person that can do great things? And so it has to first to do with how we actually see ourselves. And we have to also recognize our value, how valuable we are. There's a quote I really love. If you do not put a value on yourself, if you do not raise your price yourself, the world will not raise it for you. And so it has to do with you even raising it yourself, you placing that value on yourself. Everybody wants to price things down. It's just like going to the market. I mean, we still do that, because obviously we want what's best for ourselves too. And so you go to the market, they tell you something is 1,000. Of course, I'm going to be like, oh no, it's 500 first. I mean, that's something we've learned even from our mothers, break it into two. And then you now start like going back and forth. And at the end of the day, you come to like you come to a consensus and like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm going to pay this. Nobody's going to, you're not going to tell anybody, oh, it's 1,000 and person be like, it's 2,000. The only reason why you tell someone it's 1,000 and person like, no, I'll pay you 2,000 because you already even have that worth. The person knows that no, this person is just doing this because maybe we have that relationship. I do not want to take advantage of that. But that's the only reason someone will even raise your price, not because they think, oh, everybody wants to reduce one's price. And like I said, how we see ourselves shapes everything. It shapes our decisions, even the kind of relationships we enter into, the kind of people we move with, even our success, and even the way we serve others. And we have to recognize our values. We shouldn't settle for less. We shouldn't try and shrink into spaces where we think, oh, that's where we can shine. Oh, let me just stay, at least I'm shining. And we shouldn't also try and hold back from opportunities that are meant for us. That's something too that I've had to deal with. Nobody was born like, oh, I already know this. You come into it. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's growth, knowing that, oh, I'm more than this. And that's why, like I said today, we'll be talking about building your self-worth. And with everything I've said today, I just want to challenge us with this. How do you see yourself? Are you living fully in the truth of your worth? Are you shrinking under self-doubt and fear? And so how do we actually see ourselves? And with that, when we truly know our worth, we won't settle. We'll start working with confidence and we'll build a life that reflects the greatness within us. And so let's dive in and let's build together. And with that, I'll be introducing even our speaker for today, the convener of Impact Leaders Connect, in the person of Samuel Olariwaju. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Ola. A very great introduction. She has given a very good background as to what we are going to be doing here today. So everyone, I want to say a big welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us for the first Build series in the year 2025. And I want you to know that for you to be here already is already a big sign that you've rolled up your sleeves to join us in building this year. And I can tell you for sure that this year we will definitely build a lot. We're going to build ourselves, we're going to build businesses, we're going to build our organizations, we're going to build our community together. And that's why the format for this year's Build series is quite unique. It's not going to be the normal event where we come around and then we invite speakers to talk. Rather, we want this to be a conversational concept. We want it to be something that each and every one of us can get to discuss with each other. We can get to learn from each other. We can get to share who we are. Some weeks ago, I get to meet one of our community member at Impact Leaders Connect. I don't know if she's here today. Interestingly, she has actually been working in leadership for decades. I never knew she was even a John Maxwell certified coach on our platform. I was surprised when she reached out to me that she has been following ILC for over a year. So we don't know the kind of people we have in this particular group, Zoom meeting today. There are people here that are CEOs. There are people here that are starting their own organizations. There are people here that are already in leadership for years. So why go out there and bring someone when we have everyone here? So that's why the goal of this, series this year is for us to all come, like maybe bi-monthly, just come and meet each other, come and share about what we know about the topic. So no one here is an island of knowledge. No one here knows it all. We are all learning, and I myself today am here to come and learn from you, just as much as I also want to learn what I know. So welcome to the Build series. My name is Samuel Olaraju, as mentioned by my wife earlier. Currently a PhD student. in Canada. Yeah, I'm studying genetic disease. But alongside that, I started this organization, Impact Leaders Connect, some years ago, with the goal of bringing leaders together to learn, to grow, and to network together, right? So that's why we started Impact Leaders Connect. But over time, this organization has evolved into several things. We've had great partnerships, and every year we organize a major event called the Impact Leaders Connect, which happens in August. Last year was a very impactful one, and this year we're already working on how this year is going to be. So thank you very much for joining. And today we're going to dive straight into the topic, and that's building your self-worth. I'm only going to spend like 10 minutes on this. As I said, that we're all here to learn. We're all here to learn. And to be sincere with you, we are all building ourselves. Even if you look at leaders that are already 80 years, 90 years, I used to listen to John Maxwell podcast. He will still tell you that he's reading books, he's going to conferences, he's learning. Why? Nobody can stop learning. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. So the fact that you're here already shows that you have interest in learning. And that's why I want to share this with you. This is something that was, as I was reflecting on this topic and on this program, this is what came to my mind. And I believe this is going to bless every one of us today. So I'll just go straight and share my slides briefly. Not a lot of slides, just pictures to depict what I want to share with us. Just pictures. So just a minute, I'm bringing that up. Okay. So I have right here in front of me the Burj Khalifa. This particular building is located in Dubai and is currently the tallest building in the world. I'm excited to have some of my friends that are engineers, some are civil engineers, some are, maybe mechanical, some are computer science, computer engineers. One thing you will know about this building is the fact that it has one of the, deepest foundations. The foundation is 164 feet, and this building is 830 meters high. From my little experience about building, the stronger a building is, the stronger the foundation. The stronger a building is, the stronger the foundation. This year, we have a goal of building. But how can we build anything when we've not built ourselves? How can we build anything when we don't even have the confidence to build? And that's why today, the first session we are having is about building our self-worth. One thing you need to know is this: we all have a worth over our lives, whether we like it or not. At times we talk to people, what's your price? They will tell you, I'm priceless. No, you have a price, you have a worth. And you need to know what that is. Because when you know what your worth is, you know the amount of work you need to put in developing that worth. When you know what your worth is, you know the amount, you will be able to know the amount of work you need to put in to develop your worth. All the great people we see today in the world, people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, we can all see their stories. You can go on YouTube there and watch, their biographies and where they started from. They all started from something very small. Their worth was very small then. You hear, at a point, Elon Musk was worth, $10,000. At a point, it was worth $100 million. And now currently is worth over $300 billion, right? That's his worth. And each year you can see the growth. Each year you can see the change in his life. Just like each and every one of us here, we are not in this world by mistake. We have a worth on our lives. And the question I have for you today is this: what's your worth? Have you ever thought about this? What's my worth? Because your worth is what gives you confidence. Your worth is what gives you, the mentality. Your worth is what pushes you to be able to work on yourself. You cannot develop yourself when you don't even know why you are doing that. You cannot build an organization when you don't know why you're doing that. So the goal of today is to sharpen our mind, is to let us see that there is something about us that we need to discover, and that's our worth. That's our inner worth. You will see someone stand on stage or go out, with such a high shoulder. Not that they are proud, it's just that they know who they are. They know who they are. And if you don't know who you are, you will even abuse yourself. If you don't know who you are, you are going to misplace yourself. If you don't know who you are, you're going to put yourself in the wrong place, right? So it's very important that we know our self-worth. And after knowing, it's very important that we build it. And today, briefly, I'm going to be sharing with us 3 framework, very simple framework that you're going to use to develop, to build up your self-worth. So the first one I'm going to share with us is ask, A-S-K, ask, ask. You need to ask questions. You need to start from asking questions, right? Every great thing I've seen, I'm a researcher. In the lab, before you go ahead and do an experiment, you need to ask a question. So your question will determine your hypothesis. Your hypothesis will determine your experimental design. Your experimental design will determine the kind of results you get. Everything in life starts from a question. How can I get better? Who am I? Who am I? That's the most basic question you can ask yourself. Who am I? Why am I in this world? Why am I here? What am I called to do? Right? If you don't ask these questions, you can't know who you are. It's as simple as that. Because it is when you know you have those questions on ground, you can develop an hypothesis to answer that question. Right? You can know and okay, what approach can I do? What do I even know about myself? Who am I? What are the skills I have locked up in me? What is my talent? You need to ask this question. And it's amazing that many of us here on this call, we've heard many of these questions in different events. We've attended different events when a speaker talks about, okay, who are you? But we've never had time to work on it. And that's why this year we are building. I want you to take this serious. Impact Leaders Connect is not just a random organization or a random event. We are all here to become better. We are all here to find our mountain of influence, go there and make impact. We are not just random. We are not just random everywhere. We are called for a specific mission. So the question goes back to you today. What question are you asking yourself? What question are you asking yourself? Many of us here, we are very skillful. We have a lot of ideas locked up in our brain, but we are not asking questions. We are not asking questions like, why is it that I'm skillful in using my hands? Why is it that I know how to come up with ideas? Why is it that I know how to, create projects? These are questions you can write down on a sheet of paper. And from there, you start asking, finding answers. And that's where the next, framework after ask, the next thing you need to do is to seek. Only those that seek finds. Only those that seek finds. After writing down the questions that you want to ask, you need to seek answers. You need to seek answers to those questions. Who am I? Nobody will answer who are you for you. Nobody on this earth will answer who are you for you. You have to do that, you have to go on that journey yourself. Many of us here, if you're raised in Nigeria, you've heard of the ultimate search, where you get to look for a treasure, right? Everyone on this call, you're a treasure. That there's something locked up inside of you. There's something God has placed inside your heart, but you can only find it when you seek. You can only find it when you become, go out there and search for yourself. You need to find yourself. After writing down questions, then you go deep into finding answers, right? You need to seek. And how do you seek? Number one, you seek by reading books. You seek by reading books. You read the stories of others that have also gone on the same journey as you. How were they able to find themselves? What are the things they went through to become who they are today? You need to search through books. You need to search, through meditation. You need to sit down and just be in a quiet place and just, go deep into yourself. Go deep into yourself. Go deep into yourself. And before meditation, you also need to reflect on what you're reading from the books. You need to reflect on what you're reading from the books. Many of us here, we've heard about reading books. Oh, let me go and read books. Let me go and read books. But after reading books, what do? You don't reflect. You need to practice reflection. Okay, this book I've read, even if it's just a page, how does this apply to my life? What can I get out of this book to change my destiny? That's the next question. And that's the question that seekers, right? People that are seeking, those are the questions they ask. Okay, I attend this build series today. What have I learned? How am I going to apply what I've learned in my life and destiny? These are the questions people that are seeking life. That's what they ask. So you all need to go into that journey of seeking yourself out. Many of us here, we have a lot of knowledge. We've done a lot of things, but we've not seek anything. Everything is just jam-packed, everywhere. You don't even know where you're going. Why? It's because you've not seek who you are. And it's hidden there. You can only know your worth when you've, had to go on that journey of seeking for it. That's where you know, okay, this is who I am. And this is why I need to, walk this way. This is why I need to be disciplined. This is why I need to work on myself. So that journey of seeking is very, very, very important as a leader. And without doing all of these basic things of asking a question, seeking for answers, we cannot really build anything, because we are just building on a shaky foundation. And just like I've shown the Burj Khalifa, if you want to build something great in life, you need to go deep. You need to go deep. The deeper you go, the farther you go. The deeper you go, the higher you go. The deeper you go, the higher you're rising in life. It's as simple as that. And then we go to the third aspect of the framework, and that's knock. And that is knock. You've asked the question, you have seeked for answers through books, through meditations, through reflections, through mentorship, through going for events like this, right? Through, engaging in activities that help develop yourself. All those things are seeking, but then you need to knock. Many of us here, we've already know who we are. Many of us here, we're already seeking, we're already reading books, but you are not knocking. You cannot build your self-worth by not doing anything. The only what gives, when it comes to the aspect of self-worth, there's something that we call validation. You need to validate your worth. And how do you validate your worth? You knock. You take an action. You step out. You create an initiative. You volunteer. You take up a project. Through that, you're building your confidence that, oh, I've done this thing before, then I can do bigger things, right? Every great and mighty person we see today on this earth, if you look at their life, they are not just doing all these big projects today. They started from small projects by knocking, right? You start by knocking small doors. From there, you start knocking big doors. From there, you start knocking great doors. That's how life works, right? You need to knock. You need to start making those, you need to start taking those decisions. You want to apply for a scholarship, knock on that door of scholarships. You want to apply for a grant, knock on the door of the grant. You want to apply, you want to start an organization, knock on that door. A door can only open for you when you knock. Right? You are in a place now, you've learned everything, you know who you are, you seek knowledge and everything, but now you're in front of the door, you're not knocking. That's how many of us are. If you check many of our notes now, there are a lot of opportunities lined up there. We are not doing anything about it. We are procrastinating. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't think I deserve this scholarship, or I deserve this thing. Let me quickly share a story with you. There's currently a scholarship I'm on now called the Vanier Scholarship, one of the most prestigious scholarship here in Canada. When I wanted to apply for this scholarship, by the grace of God, I know that I can win the scholarship. I've already asked myself the question, do I deserve this scholarship? And to answer that question took me time. It took me a lot of time to think that, do I even deserve to win this scholarship? Then I came to, resolution within myself. I think I can. Then the next step is I started seeking. I started reaching out to mentors. I started searching, go online, read books. Oh, what are the things I need to do? How do I go about the scholarship and everything? After I finished all these things, I even went to meet a mentor that told me that, fam, you deserve this scholarship. You're smart. You can get it. You're everything. But I myself, at that point, I was still like having that doubt in my heart. Do I deserve it? And that's how many of us are feeling. Do I deserve, to get a scholarship? Do I deserve to get a job? I don't think I have what it takes. I don't think I'm enough. I had that feeling. But then one day, I was just at home. I just wake up. I noticed that I have everything written down, and it's already a month into the scholarship application. I have only 1 month or some days to go. If I don't knock this door now, that's the end. If I don't knock the door now, that's the end. Life is timing. You miss that time, it's gone forever. Many of us here now, we are aging every day. Many of the doors that God has placed in front of you to knock, you are not knocking them. Before you open your eyes, it's gone. And that's the end. Life is timing, and those doors are coming, but you need to knock them. So to build your self-worth, you need to first ask questions. Ask deep questions. The deeper the questions you're asking, the deeper, the higher you go in life. You need to seek answers to those questions. You need to seek answers through reading books, doing research, finding yourself through mentorship, through going for programs like this I mentioned. And the third thing is you need to knock. You need to take action. You need to take action. You need to build relationships. Those are part of the actions you need to take. This year is already February. The year is going again. The time is running. We've already started building. Many of us have started making projects. Now you need to put all yourself together and use this simple frameworks of what? Asking, of seeking, and of knocking. So anywhere you are now at that stage, you to think about it. What am I currently doing? Am I asking the questions? Okay, I have the question, I have answers, I know who I am. Am I seeking? Oh, maybe I'm not seeking enough. Maybe I need to read more books. Maybe I need to, take more courses. Am I knocking? And this stage of knocking is the hardest because many of us still feel we are not enough. Let me tell you, you are enough. You are enough. Everyone in this life started from somewhere. Nobody you see today that you are, at times I go on Instagram, I see some great men, I'm like, oh, wow, how I wish I can be like this person. It doesn't happen that way. Where you are now, that's where you can look from. Where you are now is where you can start from. Start something small, even if it's working for others, even if it's volunteering for others, even if it's taking that small course online. Just start from where you are, and that's how you build. Everyone that builds here, we start with a block. Then you put another block. You put another block until it becomes a house. Then from there, if you want to build a skyscraper from a small house, then you keep on building. That's how life is. That's how life is. Nobody just wake up and just build a skyscraper, bam, once. It doesn't happen. It starts from one block to another, and before you know it, you've built a glorious destiny for yourself.